Hey guys, how's it going? I'm back, and today we have another UU battle. I think the team is pretty much the same. It might be just similar. I'm not sure. Um, but going across on my team, we have specially defensive melodic. We have physically defensive Hitmontop with toxic and rapid spin. We have a life orb Arcanine with Wild Charge, Extreme Speed, Flare Blitz, and Close Combat, I believe. It also might have yeah, I think it has Intimidate, not Flash Fire. We have a Choice Specs Raikou, I think. We have a Life Orb Azelf. It's either Life Orb or Choice Scarf, we'll find out. And then we have a Choice Banded Nidoking with, I think, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, Rock Slide, and Sucker Punch, maybe? It's a really interesting set. Kind of works, kind of doesn't in this battle. There's a few moments where you'll see it's kind of cool, and there's a few moments where you'll see you might want like normal Nidoking or a Scarf Nidoking or something like that. So let's go across the opponent's team. It's very defensive. We have let's see, Blastoise, Slowbro, and Registeel look to be the defensive pokes. We have a lead Jumpluff most likely. It could either be Sleep Powder, Leech Seed, Substitute, that kind of thing, or it could be like a Swords Dance, Seed Bomb Acrobatics like we see in RU and I think NU nowadays, because I've been playing a bunch of the lower tiers. Then we probably will see Specially Defensive Registeel, Physically Defensive Slowbro. I think Blastoise could go either way. Darmanitan is probably going to be Life Orb because that's what I'm seeing nowadays. It could also be Scarfed, but he's a little too defensive to have like a Scarfer as one of his main attackers. And then Roserade is probably not the lead variant since he already has the Jumpluff, and will probably be Scarf Spec, some sort of offensive variant, possibly with Sleep Powder. And just before the match, I'm looking at my team, and I don't really have anything that really wants to go to sleep. So I'll probably get into that as I get into the battle. So let's just start getting into the battle now. All right, so let's get into it. I lead off with my Nidoking as he leads off with his Jumpluff. Now here I was expecting a substitute, probably like an NU where you see Seed Bomb and Acrobatics, but instead he goes for the Sleep Powder on the first turn, which I wasn't expecting. Then he goes for the sub, and I luckily get the first turn Wake and go straight for the Ice Punch, because remember this is in Banded Nidoking, so it's lots of physical stuff. Then I know that he's going to go for the Sleep Powder again, so I go into Melodic to take it, because Melodic has the Marvel Scale ability, which increases its defense when it has a status condition, I think. Then I switch right back into Nidoking as the Jumpluff goes for the Substitute, because now he can no longer put my Nidoking to sleep. So here I just break the sub with the Ice Punch. I think I also have Fire Punch on this Nidoking over Thunder Punch. That might change in the future, I'm not sure. But he switches out into Slowbro as I switch out into Azelf on the same turn. And here I just go for the U-turn and get out of there. And U-turn does some decent damage. But what I was not expecting was the Thunder Wave coming from Slowbro. If I had known that was coming, I would have gone into Melodic. Instead, my Specs Raikou, which is pretty fast, is crippled. So he brings in his Registeel. I go for the Volt Switch. Judging by the damage, it seems like it's specially defensive because that is a Specs hit. And then I don't know what he was doing here, because I bring in my Arcanine off the Volt Switch, and I just go straight out for the Flare Blitz and take out his Registeel. Maybe he was expecting me to overpredict or something. I don't know. Anyways, he brings in his Blastoise after the Registeel goes down, and I bring in Hitmontop to intimidate the Blastoise. Here I get pulled out into my Arcanine, and then I switch right out into Raikou as he goes for the Aqua Jet. The double, or actually I think it's single Intimidate, makes it so the Aqua Jet doesn't do a whole lot. So my Raikou tries to go for Volt Switch, however I get fully paralyzed on that turn and I can't Volt Switch out of the Roserade. Now here I see spikes on the Roserade, so I'm thinking it's either a lead set or it's a specially defensive set. Just something to keep in mind for the future. Here I go for the Psychic as he switches into Slowbro. I'm not quite sure why I went for the Psychic the second time. I think I was predicting him to go into Roserade, predicting my Thunderbolts, but instead I go for the Psychic. I overpredict. He hits me with, I think it was a Crit Scald, and then he ends up burning me, which isn't good. As I go into Hitmontop, he slacks off the damage, so he's going to be able to have more hit points later on. Meanwhile, I spin away the rocks. because his Slowbro can't really do a whole lot to me. He paralyzes me with a Thunder Wave, and I think he just goes for a couple of Scalds just to wear me down. I'm just staying because I don't really want anyone to take a Scald, because you know it'll do a ton to Nidoking into Arcanine. Melodic wouldn't be that bad, but Melodic might be asleep right now. I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, here he goes into Blastoise as I switch into my Melodic. I think I didn't want to take any more Scalds, but Melodic can't really do anything in there. So I just go into my Raikou as he goes for the Dragon Tail and hits me out of there. Here I come into Arcanine, and now the Intimidate will make it so his Aqua Jet won't take me out. So I go back into Raikou as he actually gets a critical hit on the Dragon Tail, which puts me out into Nidoking, and I don't have Thunder Punch, so I can't really do anything in there, so I switch right back out into Raikou. Here I'm hoping I can get off one more hit as he goes for Dragon Tail or something, but he just goes for the Aqua Jet and takes me out. So Raikou is down, and it's 5-5 now. So I bring in Arcanine to get the Intimidate off so that the Aqua Jet won't take me out, and I just go straight for the Wild Charge to get some good damage on the Blastoise. Luckily for me, he goes into Slowbro, so the Wild Charge also does pretty decent damage to that. And then if he went for Slack Off on that turn, that critical hit would definitely have mattered. If he was going to attack me, then it wouldn't have mattered because he would have died to Poison afterwards. I just wouldn't have gotten this prior damage on Blastoise, but I don't think it ends up mattering in the end. I really should have gone for Wild Charge there, but I thought that he was going to go for Aqua Jet, the priority, which is why I went for Extreme Speed, so I could like out-prioritize him. And there I go into Melodic, because I think he Dragon Tailed me out. I'm not entirely sure what was happening there. Here I get hit into my Azelf because he Dragon Tails, which is unfortunate because now he won't get another attack off because he goes down to 1% HP because of the burn. So here I bring in Hitmontop, and I think here's where where my main goal is to get a Toxic off on the Blastoise. But I guess he sees that coming. I think I might have showed Toxic earlier. And he just switches right out into Jump Bluff. He can't put me to sleep. Going for a sub wouldn't really do him a whole lot of good, so he just goes for the Leech Seed as I go for the Stone Edge. I think I only have 4 attack EVs on this Hitmontop though, so the Stone Edge doesn't do as much as I would have liked. Now he's just getting worn down by the Toxic, and I will switch into my Nidoking. And here I see an interesting move. I see Bounce coming on the Jump Bluff. I haven't seen Bounce on any Pokemon in a long time. I don't even remember, like my Pokemon Fire Red version, where there was like a Smeargle, the new Bounce or something. I don't even remember. But now I just head into Melodic because I'm pretty sure Bounce is his only attacking move. I think he's showing me his whole set now. Yeah, Leech Seed, Sub, Sleep Powder, and Bounce, which is interesting. But he just goes down to the Toxic damage, and he goes into Roserade, and I'm thinking, okay, I can take a hit from Roserade. That Leech Seed does a lot, and here's where I see he has Life Orb. So he's actually an offensive variant of Roserade. Now he might be like a max speed or something. He might be like max speed, max special attack, with what is it, timid nature, I think. No, is it? I think it's timid, yeah. But I don't know. Anyways, I come in with Nidoking, and I am faster, and I just go for the Sheer Force boosted Fire Punch, which he does not see coming at all. Take him out. But I don't have Thunder Punch, and I can't switch up moves. So I gotta switch out. I go into Hitmontop because I want to get the Toxic off on the Blastoise. He gets an Ice Beam off on me as I do get the Toxic off on him. Now you saw that Ice Beam to 19%, so here I'm hoping I can live another one with min-max damage variations and I can get off some damage, but instead he just takes me out with the Ice Beam, which is rather unfortunate. So here, I'm going to bring in my Nidoking, and I completely blanked here because I'm going for the Rock Slide, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can get a flinch, thinking, oh yeah, Rock Slide flinches. Then I remember I have Sheer Force, therefore Rock Slide won't flinch. But here I was hoping I could get the Rock Slide on that, and then I could take out the Darmanitan. But instead he just goes for the Aqua Jet and takes me out to win the game. Even with as you can see, the 0.67 times his attack because of the Intimidate. I think if I had still had my Arcanine alive and gotten the double Intimidate on the Blastoise, then I could have lived the Aqua Jet with my Nidoking, and I could have gotten the Rock Slide off, and then probably gotten the Rock Slide off on the Darmanitan, barring that he wasn't Scarfed. But yeah, that was a pretty good game. Pretty interesting things going on, like the Jump Bluff, which was Bounce. That was weird. Didn't really get to see a lot of the Registeel. Kind of interested to see if that was just a specially defensive one, or if it was a curse one, or whatever was going on there. Roserade was kind of interesting because it had spikes and Giga Drain. Don't really see that a whole lot. I expect like Sleep Powder and 3 attacks, but I guess Jump Puff's there for Sleep Powder. Don't think Darmanitan ever came out in this battle. And my Nidoking, my Banded Nidoking did alright. So thank you guys for watching, and come back next time.